Whoa. Whoa. It's minifigure illusion. Reporting from somewhere on Brick Ship Earth. We're back. We're back in the brick again, dude, for some of this brick clicking here and wrap up the year. Yeah. So we're back here doing the endurance. What's going on, Queens of the studio? We're here. We're gonna build this. We got some boat to build. We've got some boat to build. I think we're on number bag 19. Let's there it is. Number bag 19 for the win, dude. 2020-21 vibes. Yeah, dude. I wonder what happened to the cat who was making these. I wonder whatever happened to that, dude. They got him. They got him. I think I need to actually open this up on the phone to see the comments here. I can't see him that way out far off. There we go. I'm subscribing everything. All right. I tried to get one, but he took the site down. Yeah, he probably got a cease and desist, dude. The National Geographic Society probably was not pleased with what was going on. All right, I got that where I can see it. Let me put it where there we go. Use the bulldozer to hold it up. Will that work? There we go. Yeah, we're back. I went surfing before Christmas for like 3 days solid. Scored a bunch of waves, and then it was Christmas, and then I just needed to recover from it all. So staying up past my bedtime. What's going on, Carooster? Free as a bird. We're here. We're bringing in we're wrapping up the end of the year here with some brick clicking on the endurance, dude. So I had my washing machine, my dryer broke tonight. And I figured out what it was. I took it apart and ordered the pieces. So I was I was pretty surprised at how easy it was to take apart my dryer. So I got in there and I ordered some pieces for my dryer, and I think I will be back in operation here in a couple days. But yeah, one of the wheels that rotates the barrel blew out, dude. And I have an old dryer, but it works super good. So the new parts plus like overnight shipping, it's like $70, but cheaper than a new dryer, I dare say. Yeah. So that was what was going on tonight. I was minding my own business, and then all of a sudden I heard the most horrid sound coming out of the laundry room. And I raced in there, and the dryer had come off the thing, and the wheel was off, and it was sucking up all my wife's underwear into the thing and putting it on the heat thing and melting them, dude. I'm lucky I didn't burn it. Lucky the house didn't burn down. But I'll tell you what, divine intervention, because I took the whole dryer apart, and there was so much lint and random flammable stuff down in there that I'm stoked. So I got in there, I cleaned it all out. I got a vacuum in there. I figured out what parts I needed. I put my order in, and boom. Now I'm on standby to see if I actually have solved the problem, or just literally put 70 bucks in the fireplace. I don't think so. It's an old whirlpool. So most of my appliances in this house are pretty old, and they all work killer. And this dryer I got like is so rad. I was like, I don't even want to get a new dryer, but I got the parts, so we'll see how it goes. I think I got this though. I'm becoming way more acclimatized to the whole homesteading lifestyle. Now, I posted a video about it today on the other channel, like, getting over, like, I'm totally at ease now with this point, like when stuff breaks, to not even trip and just figure out how to fix it and order the parts and do the thing. But what's interesting with with this is there's these two little, they're called tri pins or tri clips or so. They're like little triangle clips that go on the axles to the wheels. They're almost as much as the wheels were, dude. I mean, they're little lame plastic triangles, dude. But I instantly know, I was like, I better order them now because they're just gonna break when I take the other wheel off. You could see they were pretty crusty. But yeah, no, it's a good American made whirlpool from back in the day. So I think I'll try hanging on to that as long as I can. And yeah, we're free as a bird. We're not talking about that. That's all just, I don't know, dude. If you know what I mean. We're just not talking about that. But besides that, everything's on schedule, on like going according to schedule in a good way. The surf was pumping down at Rincon. That's sort of the highlight of the whole thing. I sort of broke the spell on the surfing thing, man. Finally, dude. Because if you recall, I went and I scored waves down in Blacks last winter, but I hurt myself, dude, right when I was figuring it out again. And then I went up to Santa Cruz, and Santa Cruz is super extreme. So I was just surfing to survive, essentially, dude. But day 2 down at Rincon, man, I took out this board I'd been holding out on, and I clicked in, dude. And let me tell you, dude, it was a fantastic feeling to click back in on the old surfing program, because I didn't realize how unclicked I had been until I clicked in, and then I clicked in. And then I clicked in, and it was weird, dude. Like Cactus, you'll know this. Like it was whatever I'd been surfing, but there was this one wave where I got the pump, and then it was like the switch flipped on, and I was like, oh, I've got my accelerator button back. Like I got my combat gears back, and then it was game on. Then I was like, and then it was like my whole my whole psyche transitioned. I was like, oh, okay. And then I went and took my spot in the lineup and was like, okay, dude, I'm back. But it's taken me 3 years, realistically. Because right before I moved, I got this super sick session on a big West swell at this random spot with my buddy Tyler. We were the only guys out. And then I moved and stuff. And then it was sort of, I don't really think I surfed much that first year. I surfed the next season. I scored a bunch of waves. And then I surfed New Year's last year. I scored on New Year's last year. And I surfed right before New Year's. And then I hurt myself. And but this time it was different. Something clicked in a big way. And when it did, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it was a really a pretty fruitful surfing trip at this stage of the game. Like it got me, it reinvigorated my whole I got my surfing mojo back, which is rad, because I did leave after the Santa Cruz surfing mission. I was a little like, nah, I don't know, man. My game's not that tight. And then I don't know what's going on here. I'm missing like a whole section, dude. I skipped ahead. I'm missing a whole section right there, dude. Wait a minute. Ah, there it is. I skipped a page. Look at that, dude. I got all happy and skipped a bit. I felt the shift in the force, dude. What content ideas do you have for 2025? I'm going with the whole, I don't know if I have any specific content ideas. Like, I'm going back to the roots. Like I was saying in that video I posted from Rincon, man, this was a good trip abroad, because like things, like I said, things have pretty much stabilized here at the farm as far as like projects. Like I've been just focusing on art and making things and kind of like actually like doing this work where I actually can like make some money. Because the stuff I've been doing is banking on the future type of projects, right? And so I've been doing some self-examining, if you will. And I think what I realized is, and I talked about it before, is my next round of this sort of content is way more in the I don't want to say self-help. That's not right. But more realistic advice. I've been doing a lot of like observing, right? What's been going on, the last couple years in social media and homesteading and all this stuff. And I've realized that people are selling the beginning of the product and the end of the product. So like they're selling like, oh, you have a problem and this is what your life will look like when you correct that problem or you alter your lifestyle. Like you're in the city being trapped by the man. So move out and homestead. And now you're a homesteader. But I'm all about like this middle period. So all my content, I don't want to say all my content, but my content's generally going to be focused on the actual brutal hard work of transitioning your life into any given situation that I'm comfortable, that I have knowledge in, right? Like, for example, homeschooling. Like, homeschooling is real, like I've really seen like something happen in the last like month or so with the homeschooling thing, right? I've watched Owl have this self-motivated shift about like homeschooling, right? So if I were to tell you like what homeschooling is today, and like be like, yeah, like all of a sudden it's all the pieces went together and Owl's like decided he wants to be a geologist and he studies geology on his own and he's like taken this like super proactive interest in his own education and he's gotten really motivated about it for the sake of being of what he's into right now, right? And I was like, look, all you got to do is yank your kids out of school and homeschool and this and that. uh, what I would tell you is the middle period from when we started homeschooling till now was a lot of like hard, dirty work. I don't, dirty is probably not the right word I'm looking for, but like hard, gnarly work that wasn't pretty. A lot of not so pretty work happened over the last, lot of battling it out with your child and just the intensity of the whole thing, right? And so if I were to tell people about homeschooling, like I think the real advice isn't so much about the educational materials and like this is what how no, it's about like the perseverance and drawing lines and being willing to like fight it out, like certain battles that you're about to embark on that you have to be ready to like wage war on. Like there's certain things that like in the homeschooling thing, like you got to get ready to wage war about because you can't surrender to that. Oh my God, I put some stuff on wrong, dude. How am I going to get this off? Oh, dude. Oh no. I blundered a deep piece here. Hold on. Gotta fix this up. I don't think it's in there, but it's right in here. Hold on. There it is. All right. And now hold on, I'll be back with you in a second here. I gotta fix this. I done messed up. Oh no, now I'm like way off. Hold on. Schnikes. Oh boy, dude. And so I think that I've noticed, I think what people are selling to people out there is like this sort of fantasy land about how you get from A to B on some of these projects. And I want to focus my content on what it looks like in the middle between when you get your groove on and when you decide to make a transition to whatever that is, right? And I was talking about it earlier today. There's the day, like in sobriety, there's the day I'm sober today, right? And then there is the day I got sober, right? But along the way, there was all these crazy moments of self-doubt and chaos and lashing yourself to the mass and overcoming the obstacles to get here. Like, I didn't just get here on the all like la-di-da. Like, it was all super gnarly in the middle, but I look back on it now and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, whatever. And so if I were to sell someone a package like, oh yeah, you just, this is what you do and this is where you'll get, like, I think most people are getting set up for failure. I've noticed that that's the grift right now. The grift is to sell people like, you want to transition in your life, right? You want to be more motivated. You want to get fit. You want to homeschool your child. You want to go be a homesteader. You want to get off the grid. You want to get sober. You want to do all this stuff. And this is what it'll look like when you get there. When you get here, it'll look like this. And not talk about all the sausage that needs to get made in the way. And I realized that over the last 4 years, I've literally been like, since 2020, when it all went off the rails, I've literally been making sausage on my YouTube channels to get here. And now that I'm here, I'm sort of looking back and going, wait a minute. Like, the mental warfare to get back to clarity is the hard part. It's not the clarity. It's not the desire to get clear in your head. It's the battle you go through to get there. But that's not like fashionable or pretty or like super marketable. Like, I'm gonna sell you my 12-step guide to whatever it is. The beginning is like, you want change, and the last step is you've achieved change. But all the middle steps are really pretty brutal and gnarly and super like fraught with self-doubt and confusion and I want to get in on that part. And I think that I agree, the self-help movement hustle is too digestible on YouTube. It's more like climbing out of the Sarlacc pit. Exactly. And so like I said, or I think, as I'm saying right now, it wasn't till I hit that feeling out in the ocean on the wave that I knew I was back to surfing, that I was able to realize all the false starts I'd had over the last like 3 years. And then I was like, oh, all those moments I thought I had gotten there, I hadn't. And I had to, like, last year when I rolled my ankle, dude, out at Blacks, this and that, like, and then all of a sudden you hit it. And I could say, oh, it's just this feeling, and you'll know when you get there. But when you get there, you'll be there and you'll know that, and go, well, how do you get from the desire to change to the change and get through all of this part where you're really like not there yet, but you appear to be there, but you know you're not, and your psyche's wearing on you. Like I can look at the surf trip I took up to Santa Cruz like 6 weeks ago, right? I took that surf trip up to Santa Cruz. The waves were pumping. It was my first surfing in the ocean in like 8 months. I had trained for it. I'd gotten fit. My arms were fit. I was physically prepared, mentally, not so much, and just tactily, not so much. And so I got up in the ocean, and I remember, like, yeah, I muscled my way through it for 4 or 5 days, but I didn't end it feeling like I was in the zone. I had that feeling like on a certain level, I just had to be like satisfied with a level of like, oh well, like I did my best. Like, yeah, I did my best, but I don't even know what I'm shooting for anymore. But I did my best. And I remember leaving the ocean and being like, all right, like I wasn't charged. I got out there, I battled it, I handled myself. Like I did this, and but I go deep down inside myself. I was like, oh, dude, like not so much, dude. Like, yeah, you faked it. Did you know inside yourself that you weren't that? And then this last trip, like the first day I was surfing, it was big rincon, like one of those things like first thing in the morning, it's pumping and you got to paddle out like at the beach break. And it's like, it could go real bad real quick. And I timed it and I squirted out and I made it out, no big deal. And I was out in the water and I was getting waves and I was surfing and I ran into a buddy of mine and I was doing the thing, but I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be, right? I knew I wasn't at my potential. And then the next day, I surfed in the morning. Okay. And then I changed up my whole scene in the afternoon. I was like, I'm gonna ride this board I never ride. I'm gonna change the whole deal. And I got out there on the new board and I was like, I don't know, man. Like in my glasses, I can't see what part that is. Yeah, I don't know. And then it hit, and then I clicked, and then I was like, oh. And then there was like this return. And it culminates with the whole where I'm at with the ranch and the whole thing is like I'm Cactus. I'm just about to go make the video. I went and tilled my garden plot yesterday, and I'm like just about ready to like round the corner like with the whole thing. And I was looking at it, and I was like, where was I this time last year? And I was like, dude, I was nowhere in nearly as good of a shape as I am right now for the spring planting. And I was like, and I'm feeling that kind of vibe, like I'm getting to the point where I'm getting the feel. And the feel is like the difference between pretending to surf and actually ripping, if you know what I mean. Like you can go out and surf. Like that's like people surfing. Like they just go out and surf. But I was actually like shredding like after the second, like halfway through the second day. Like I was like in my like, yeah, I got this, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, oh, dude, yeah. And it was a thing that I thought I didn't know I thought might have been gone. Like it ties in with the fact that Owl decided he wanted to start skating recently, and we kind of got our ranch where we want it. We got our client up here, dude, who's fully settled in, and so we have like a level of like security on that level, and we've been hit with a couple gnarly issues up here the last 3 weeks, the last month, dude. I had the pumps go out. I had the situation in the back here going on, and all of them are in the zone of being handled in a way that couldn't possibly have been handled a year ago, right? Like there's a different vibe, even to the point where like realizing that I actually this is actually my home versus this is where I live is a big like transition that dawned on me this last surfing mission. Like I went and I did it not from the perspective of like I'm trying to figure something out. Like this is like how I do it because this is where I live on the planet. And these are the things I do because this is what I do. You know what I mean? Versus like, I'm trying to figure out what it is and how to do this. It was like, no, I was on my mission, dude. I had my like mission vibe on. And that's, I think, so going back to you, I've leveled up. Yes, Carooster, I've leveled up. I've leveled up. Yeah, it's a weird thing, and I think part of it is realizing how, coming to terms with how gnarly the mental warfare of the last like 4 years has been. Like, and realizing that on a certain level, I've just moved past it in a weird way. Not in a black pilled way, but in a white pilled optimistic way of like, I've done my duty. I've spoken out. I haven't been quiet about any of this stuff over the last 4 years. I'll probably always speak up about it, but like, I don't have to burn myself out on it. Like, I don't have to prove anything to myself about it. I think there was like, even over the last year, since October 7th, I think there was something like if I look at from like 2020 till like a month ago, it had been nonstop battling for like the right to be a human, like the right to exist as a human. And that in itself, when I sit and I look at it, is like, I don't need to like, I don't, what am I trying to say is I did my duty, man. I did my duty, and I made my record. I put my X on the record as like where I stand about all this. This is a big model. It's a huge model. Yeah. What's going on, Brett? And it's not like I'm taking any days off. It's like it's just become the point of everything that's needed to be said about that has been said. Like I was making I think for me, like when I was making those short videos about the New Jersey drones, I think I was like that's the final act of the whole thing. Was like it's become a point where there's nothing to do but make fun of it at this point. And I mean even the darkest of it all. There's nobody seems to care, and it's and I'm not I don't I do. So like what am I going to do with that? I think I'm going to make content that's more oriented towards like the daily reality of maintaining what it is. I mean, sort of like what I always have been doing, but like on a certain level, I've been watching some of my older videos. I don't normally do that. There was like a lightness underneath it all or to it. Like, even though it was always pretty like straight up and legit, but there was like an underlying lightness to it. And I think when I did some self-reflection the last on the road and surfing the last week, I realized like it's not that I lost that lightness, that I just someone pointed it out on the chat the other day. It was the realization of saying I'm not going to talk about music on the live stream and then doing a rant for an hour about why I'm not going to talk about music on the live stream, and then looking at that in like a self-reflecting way and being like, that's ridiculous, dude. Like you're ridiculous. Like I think that's what I'm trying to say is like I've reached a point where like I know I'm like I have to laugh at myself more, but it's hard to laugh at yourself when you're like super invested in the battle for humanity. And I think it's time to go back to a lighter tone, if you will. And to me, the lighter tone is making it about wanting to free people, not from the darkness, but from the facade that it's undoable, that you need to pay to go on some retreat. And I was watching these people, these helpers, because my wife's all up on in LinkedIn for her job. So I was checking out some stuff. She was showing me some stuff, and I was checking out some of the hustles going on for the self-help people. And I was like, wow, like they're selling they're selling $1,500 seminars, and they got hundreds of people signed up. And I'm asking myself, I'm like, what? Like, I go, what? They're just hustling people. And I was like, well, what are they? And I go, oh, all they're doing is it's this mutual exchange of hustle. All right, this is the conclusion I had. This is Tim Pool, all of the stuff I've been working on the last couple months. People want to be sold the cure that doesn't get them better, so they can buy it again, and they don't have to take responsibility for themselves. And what I mean by that is people are willing to pay money for a full-on product that they can't possibly achieve And the reason they're willing to pay a lot of money for a product they can't possibly achieve is it gets them off the hook. It's weird. It's so inverted to what I've been trying to do on this channel for the last 15 years or 14 years that it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks is people want to be sold the cure that they can't possibly complete, so that when they're sick, they're like, they want to be, it's weird. It's like people don't want the cure or the answer or the solution. They want to be sold the postcard of what the solution will look like. And then they want to have to keep buying attempts to get to the solution, because in the end, the solution is super simple. Just do the work. But people don't want to do the work. And I think what it was I look at myself sometimes to find the answer to some of these things. It was, so I was sitting there before I went on the surf trip, and I was like, I got to get like super fit. I got to get super fit. And I sat there for a moment and I was like, I'm going to hire this friend of my wife's who's like has a gym and he's a trainer and the whole thing. I'm going to hire this dude to like whip me into shape, like get me like into shape. Hold on. And it was that moment that I realized that in order to get myself into shape, I just got to decide to get myself into shape. And that ultimately the reason I wanted to hire the trainer was so that I could ultimately like sort of bone out at some sort of part and like be like, well, I tried. And I was like, no, dude, get gnarly, dude. You got to get gnarly, man. You don't need no stinking trainer. You don't know stinking badges. Just get gnarly, man. And it was that where I sort of clicked in with all this other stuff and said, go, oh, people don't want the actual answer. They want to be sold the answer in a way they can't possibly achieve it without buying. And it's like the diet fad. Think about how, like, so I come from that. I don't know if it's a thing they do anymore. So in my life, there's always been like diets and people, you Weight Watchers and Richard Simmons and I don't know, Jane Fonda. And those weren't diets, those were more workout things. But what I'm saying is there's always been keto diets and these diets and this diet and this kind of diet, and do diets to lose weight. But they always changed, and people always bought the new diet because the old diet didn't work. And why didn't the old diet didn't work is because they were dependent upon something outside themselves that they, instead of flipping the switch internally and being like, no, I don't need to have someone buy, I don't need to buy a diet from someone. I need to actually change my perception of my own reality in this thing. And that change of perception has to be given away. You can't charge for that. And it has to be a value for value model. Like people have to be willing to change and take care of the people that help them change. It's sort of like how like, it's sort of like the whole yoga economy, which is, illness gets people out of a lot of responsibilities. Exactly. It's this weird thing. So it's like the thing. again, as it goes to this thing of that I've been noticing is people want to be free, but they don't want to do the work for freedom, right? Like people want to claim that they're a victim of the government or the immigrants or the wokesters or the this or the that. And what they're going to do is they're going to vote in somebody else to solve the problem. But they're not going to change anything in their lifestyle that actually facilitates the problem that they're complaining about. It's like the thing I've always gone off of again. It's like I there's the deep state conspiracy as you're sitting in line at the fast food place. You're sitting in line complaining at Burger King, complaining about the deep state and the illegals, and America's being sold out by the Chinese and the corporations are out to get us, as you're pulling in by Burger King with your Gadsden flag sticker on your car. And that's what I mean. Like, and so I've realized that on a certain level, I've been wasting my time because at the end of the day, people want to be hustled. People want to buy a product so they can feel better about themselves as if they're doing something instead of actually like doing the work. And I go, and that's where I've been struggling with what I've been doing here the last couple years is like, well, how do I market this? And I'm like, I'm trying to market something to people that about that, and my what I'm trying to market is like, don't get scammed to the thing. And people are like, no, I want to be scammed. And I go, I don't want to sell you the scam. Like, no, you don't want to buy a scam. You want to buy the real product once. And they're like, no, your marketing's all wrong, dude. We want to buy the product over and over and over and over and over again. We don't want to buy it once and be cured. And so when I don't know if you guys remember when I had the herniated disc on my back, right? I went and I got that physical therapist. And he was like, "Look, man, I'm going to give you this workout program. It's going to take you 20 minutes 3 times a day. We're going to get your back fixed. We're going to get you all dialed in." And the reason I'm giving you this program that's only going to take you 20 minutes a day is that because I don't want you to ever have to come back and see me again. My goal is to lose you as a customer. My goal is to do my job so that your back is fixed and you never need to come see me again. And I remember him because he's like, I'm going to charge you a bunch of money up front. And I was like, all right. And he's like, but the goal is you're never coming back to see me again. And he's like, this is how I do it. I give you a program, a physical fitness program that allows you to not be overwhelmed by the I missed something here. Hold on. Overwhelmed by something you can't achieve. So his whole basic thing was, if I give you a workout regimen to keep your back healthy and it's longer than 20 minutes, you're not going to do it eventually. Eventually, you're going to stop doing it because it's going to take too much time and you're going to feel better. And ultimately, you're just gonna write it out of your reality because you don't have time for it. So he's like, I got to give you a workout thing that's 20 minutes that in fact you'll never forget, and you may stop using, but you always know how to use it again. And boom. And I think that's where I'm coming from at it. Is the hard part to realize is people ultimately want to be sold these change your lifestyle products, whether they're lectures or workshops or seminars or whatever they are. They want to be sold a product that ultimately they can't maintain, so that they have to buy it again and get that same, like, I'm making the change again moment. They don't actually want to change. They want to stay perpetually in that I'm going to change vibe. Oh, look, I'm changing my life. I'm doing this. Now I'm drinking rainbow smoothies. No, I'm doing tactical sit-ups, dude. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to get the job done, dude. Dr. Kim, that's right, man. Dr. Kim, dude. The man. Dr. Kim, dude. That dude is a hero, dude. Let's see, we got a restricted message, dude. What's Caruster got? Illness gets people sick, dude. And so, yeah, so that's going back to what you were asking, Queens of the Studio. I'm getting back to the origins of what I used to do. And I never stopped doing it, but I kind of lost my sense of humor about it. Because like anybody else, dude, like you want to be successful at what you're doing, and you're watching a bunch of grifters like rip people off basically, and you're like, what? Like, why? And then you go, well, you got to look at yourself and go, well, I don't want to rip people off. Like I had like so I went the other day, like I went and dropped off a piece of my wood art, that new wood art I'm doing with all the wood strips and stuff. And I sold it for like a fair, I'm putting them online. They're like the smaller ones, I'm charging $420 with shipping included. Costs like $60 to ship. But whatever, I'm like, no. And then I sat there. So this dude was down in Santa Monica who ordered it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go drop it off to my brother down there in Santa Monica, who I know. I wanted to see him, and I remember, I got a point here. I got to remember what my point was. I was sitting there. Oh, this is what my point was. I was sitting there. I sold him the piece of art, and I went and dropped it off in person. And it's different when you got to drop off your art in person versus you put it in the mail and you say goodbye to it, and you like, that's the end of the story. Like I drop it off, and I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I hope this dude actually likes it, because I don't want to rip him off. I want him to like stoked. I hope like when he sees it and holds it, he's like, oh, this is bitching. Versus like, I got scammed. And so what am I looking for here? And what am I getting at here? I'm getting at Oh, look at that. We make some sort of like spinning thing here. A gear. We got a gear going on. So I guess that what I'm getting at is I'm in this space now where like I've accepted that the grift is just the grift. And there's really nothing you can do about it, man. People want to be grifted, and that's okay. Oh, oops, I didn't put this on. All right, now, oh, dude, all right, did it again. I'm jumping ahead. I'm too busy. I'm too busy yapping to like instead of paying attention. No, no. So I'm like, all right, man. I'm just gonna go back to what I've always been doing, and like I said, like I've found my groove up here, and I'm beginning to see that like the value, if you will. And yeah, wait just a second. Oh, look at that. There's like something moves. Something's moving in there. So in a long way, yeah, that's where I'm aiming my content for 2025 is to go back to the no strings attached mental program. So don't forget, join, become a member, like, subscribe, that whole thing, because my buddy Jason is 100% right. Is people aren't mind readers, and people want to participate. People want to actually tip their talker and support their talker, but they need encouragement and the reminder that like, yeah, like, oh yeah, I forgot. And so that's what we're doing, dude. That's what we're doing in 2025, dude. The year of joy as the active resistance, man. I gotta make some t-shirts. I gotta figure out what look at that. Look at the rudder, dude. Look at that. Look at the rudder, dude. It's got an actual working rudder. Look at that, dude. That's cool. I got a lot of pieces still here. What do we got going on here? And with that, on that note, heck yeah. Because I really do feel that at this stage of the game, for the steering cabinet control, the rudder, we designed one of the smallest ever Lego gearboxes with an original 2x2 angle plate. Here we gave it an exclusive color change to dark brown, dude. There's some exclusive change. I don't know. I don't know what their point is. Huh. There's like a special note here, but I don't get why it's significant. That's the smallest gearbox ever, dude. Okay. Sure. What do you guys think? What are we do? What are we doing, man? Because I'm like I said, I'm super optimistic about what's coming. Like I've really gotten into the whole thing of like tonight when the washing machine, like the dryer went out. like me and my wife were like laughing because I took it all apart. Like 1 minute we're like hanging out, next minute the dryer goes out, and then right after that I got it in like 30 pieces. Missing remote, thank you. 550 for the 550 for your taco. For your taco. And I appreciate that. And we were laughing about like that's the homestead reality, dude. Is it's always something. There's always something going on. And that's the fun. That's the joy of it. Oh, wait, here's this. Oh, I got to get this special piece out of the box. Special piece, the special piece bag. Special piece on deck. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Let me do it like this. Let me put this on. Oh, you guys want to hear a funny story? So we have a client up here, right? And we deal with adolescents, young people. And so, part of the program is, oh, dude, what is going on here? Part of the program is that, you're not allowed to have like a cell phone, and you're supposed to unwire so that we can get you motivated, because we're not doing a typical deal up here. We're doing the whole like farm life type of thing, right? So and the reason I'm getting at this, so we got this young client, and it's pretty standard what goes on. Like, the first couple weeks, it's all mellow and whatever, and everything's chill, and then it settles in the reality that they're on a farm and there's nothing going on except like we're doing this. And then they get antsy, and then they make a play to get technology somehow. And I'll give it, man, these kids, man, they will find a way. So our client we got up here found a way. And the reason I'm telling this is because the universe has been lining up a lot lately. So it's sort of like finding the flow on the surfing thing I was talking about. So I have not checked my Starlink account in, I want to say, well, it said sometime in 2023. So that's bare minimum. I haven't looked at my actual Starlink account in well over a year. Like, haven't signed on to the website, anything. It just, whatever, the bill gets paid, it works. No, I don't think about it, right? So last night I'm sitting there. Oh, we're about to join. Look, we're joining ship halves. We're joining ship halves. Wait a second. Oops, I just messed up the camera there. We're joining ship halves. And so last night I'm sitting there, and we watched the movie The Goonies with Owl. Like, we're like, uh-oh. So we watched The Goonies last night, right? The 1985 classic with Josh Brolin and Corey Feldman, where they go find the pirate treasure, right? So we're watching Goonies. Owl's laughing. We finish up Goonies. In the middle of it, I see my my emails come up on the corner of the screen, right? And it's my Starlink being paid, and an email sent saying, telling me my Starlink had been paid, and like whatever. But I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot what credit card I had the account on, and I have 2 credit cards that are that are expiring this month, that are expiring in December, right? So I'm like, all right, like let me just make sure I have an active credit card on file for my Starlink so I don't, so nothing goes wrong. And I go into my Starlink and I'm like, whoa, dude, there's 7 things on my search, because Starlink gives you a list of all the things that are plugged into your Wi-Fi. And I'm like, whoa, there's like 7 things on my my account. And I go through and I start looking at them, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on, dude? She's breaking up. I'm like, what are they? Right? And I'm going through and I'm trying to figure out, but you can't really. Some of them are super obvious, my phone and my laptop, and like we've linked this all up together, and but most of them I got to check through the router address or whatever it is, the IP address, right? So I'm going through all my like devices in the house, and I'm like, I wonder what this one is, and it's super hard to figure out, and I'm like, I go, wait a minute, man. And I look at the one and it's got a real weak signal going on. And the Starlink's like, oh, you need to move this device closer to the Starlink server to get a signal. And I look at the bandwidth thing, and it's fading in and out, and it's having trouble. And I go, they got a cell phone over in the bunkhouse, man. They got a cell phone, dude. Sure enough, they had borrowed one down at the gym from our friend who runs the gym, so they could listen to music. And they had brought it home. And we're sitting there in the bunkhouse, like on the phone, FaceTiming someone. I went and knocked on the door at 11 o'clock. I go, and they're like, busted, right? And again, it's not a big deal. It's part of what happens. It's part of the game. And the only reason I'm bringing this up was the odds that, so they had got the phone that afternoon at the gym, but the odds that I would have busted them within 6 hours is like, can only be attributed to divine intervention, if you get what I'm saying. Because I hadn't looked at my Starlink account in well over a year. And it's not something I'm ever looking at. Like, I don't like whatever, dude. But last night I was like, and I was like a detective trying to figure out, like, what's the 7th device? And I was like, oh, I think they have a phone over there. Yeah, it was epic. It was, but you know what the trippy thing was? Like, so like one of the people we work with is this anti-technology, not anti, but like a technology detoxification dude who works with adolescents. So the adolescents are totally messed up with all the devices. Like they're messed up for real, dude. And so this dude does a lot of work with helping solve a lot of these behavioral problems are really attributed to Professor Ted Kaczynski laid it all out. Like they're overstimulated and under socialized. So there's like this technology is really bad for them. And if you can get them up to a place like ours where there's no TVs and no real technology, and it's just there's no like contact with people that are spun up on that stuff. Like it takes about a month, and then the kids start to change, right? But the thing is like good addictive souls. See that the thing with the youth nowadays, sure, drugs, alcohol, sex, debauchery, all that kind of stuff, but they're addicted to the social interaction via technology. It's really pretty weird. So anyway, like we get them up here so they can like detox on it and kind of get their life back in order. So they got a shot at this thing, right? And we're kind of becoming sort of known for this because we've broken the model. Like people are sort of, because we don't do a standard clinical model. Like we don't subscribe to that. We do like the opposite, and we don't do we don't do a punitive model either. Like when they get in like this, it's like a full break in the rules, but it's like you're not in trouble, dude. Like we're gonna sit down and like hash this out, and like you're supposed to be like doing this. Like if you weren't actually trying to like sneak technology in any way you can, like we would be wondering what you're up to. And so oh my god, I got a cramp. Ow, wow, ow. Whoa. I got a little lactic acid built up in my thigh there. Whoa. And so and it's all about plugging into the universe and the flow and the whole thing. And it was just this thing last night. Like I was sitting with my, because I woke my wife up and I'm like, dude, I got an extra signal going on, dude. And she's like, what? And I go, yeah, dude, guaranteed. And so I went over. I was like, hey, man. I was talking to them and I was like, look, dude. I go, let me explain that this is bigger than you think. Not the incident, but the universe is trying to conspire against you. And they're like, what do you mean the universe is conspiring against me? I go, dude, do you realize the odds of me flipping on my Starlink account for the first time in like 13 months or 14 months tonight, of all nights, the night you decided to wire into our Wi-Fi signal? And now here we are. And I go, well, what? Like, and I was like, you want to give me the phone? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, because I'm going to get kicked out. And I go, why do you think that? And they're like, because I broke the rules. I was like, I looked at him and I go, you're supposed to break the rules. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, you're supposed to break the rules. And they're like, what do you, huh? And I go, yeah. Because if you weren't trying to break the rules, how are we ever going to get to this moment where we develop trust with each other? And they're like, what do you mean? Like I've broken the rules, then like, you're not going to trust me. I go, dude, I don't trust you at all. Trust is to be earned. Trust isn't given. Like, we haven't done anything to earn each other's trust yet. And now we get a chance to earn each other's trust. You can give me the phone right now, and I will trust you because you came clean with it. And you're going to get a chance to learn to trust me, because what I'm telling you is there's not going to be a scene tomorrow. There's not going to be some big, like, you're penalized and you got to do solitary confinement in your room, or you got to go do, or you're kicked out, or we're calling your mom, or I go, we don't do that. Like, you're a young person who's up here to get their life together, and you've been institutionalized with punitive therapeutic settings. We're not mad at you, but this is your first chance to develop trust with me and you. I'm going to, you get to step up and admit what you're doing and hand me the device, and you get to trust me not to be punitive with you. It was a pretty cool experience actually last night, like in that sense of like, and so they handed over the phone, and then we were like, look, dude, like, all right, now you gotta go tomorrow. What was today? They're like, so today you need to go down to the gym, and you need to tell the gym owner that the phone you borrowed that he let you use for music, you took home and wired into our Wi-Fi, and that you weren't straight with them. And they're like, what? And so after the fact, I was like, so this is what it is to be an adult. Adults constantly mess up, but what we do is we do corrective of it. We don't, like, the punishment model. You're not 6, dude. it was no one's giving out free phones. You're not listening, dude. No one's giving out free phones at the gym. There's a phone that our friend who owns the gym has a phone that's not wired into anything so they can listen to music. She took the phone at the gym for the music that doesn't have a SIM card on it, and pocketed it and brought it home so that she could wire it into the internet to FaceTime someone on via Facebook or Zoom or something, dude. It's super minor league. Nobody was giving out any phones. It's what they do. So people don't know. Like, so we had a client up here, right, where like people have no idea the level of communication kids can do with Spotify, right? I didn't know till last year. So we had a client up here last year, right? And we got because they all like their music. You can't take the music away, dude. They need something, right? So music, whatever. But it's tricky because like music's all digital now, right? Which means it has to have a device. And so last year, so Spotify, there's a back channel way to communicate via Spotify, dude. Like they all know about it. I mean, us adults, like, we don't care. We just call someone, dude. But the kids all know how to backdoor messages via like playlist and recordings and shit, dude. And SoundCloud knows that SoundCloud, it's one of them, dude. Anyway, like, yeah, there's all these crazy back channel ways they communicate. It's impressive. But the joke being is the kids nowadays, all they need is 2 sticks and a wire and an internet signal, and they're off to the races, dude. That's the point. It's you're not trying to stop them. You're trying to catch them so you can have a moment of building on the thing. That's the point. Like you need a moment like that. You need a moment where you've busted them so that you can stop the therapeutic institutionalized punishment circle. Because that's all these dude, that's and again is the target of this is not lower income kids. These are upper middle class kids with resources that have all been institutionalized by their parents. And it's a diabolical system. The insurance companies are in on it. And it's all based upon convincing them that they're broken. They can't do it. They're just, I messed up again. So no, it's actually like the whole. I'm trying to hack in your Starlink right now, dude. That's right. No one's giving out free phones. So yeah, it's an amazing kind of interesting thing that's going on where, all right, look at this. We're putting in the deck. Where is this? This goes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're putting the deck on. So that was fun. I enjoy that kind of stuff. No, you wouldn't. Most people don't, I don't think, really realize how tortured this generation is right now. This young adolescent generation is. Like they're being abused. And in no uncertain terms by gatekeepers that are making money off them, dude. I mean, and not actually like, it's sort of what I was talking about before. Like the system right now of adolescent like help is all about keeping them sick so they can make more money. Our mission is to like, dude, we're trying to get you out the door, dude. We want you to send us a postcard in the distant future with your family somewhere successful. Like, wow, dude, that was crazy. Wow, dude, that was crazy. What do we got here? When I was a kid, I always wanted a boat this big. I still remember that they did have a police boat and a fire boat back when I was Legos a lot. Vintage stuff. Yeah, but it's different than these like, this is a craft, man. A Lego. This is impressive. I have to say, man, Dolky Maris, this is a pretty impressive build right here. So yeah, that's another kind of gambit of what's going on in the whole thing, is really seeing that like there's this, it's sort of like, all right, like if we talk about like the hustles, like, right, because it's a hustle. I think there's a weird thing where people think they're above the hustle. No, we're all hustling. It's just what's your intent behind your hustle. If your hustle is just to be a self-aggrandized, like rich narcissist, like that sucks. But if your hustle actually comes from the perspective of like trying to help people achieve the next level of reality, I think there's a moment right now where like there's a chance for like there's a huge market for decultification. That's the only way I can describe it on the fly like this is decultification. Like there is a cult of sickness right now and grifters convincing people to join their grift to better themselves through dead end patterns versus like empowerment. And nobody's really like that's where I think I've been digging in a little bit. Everybody's bypassed all the basic stuff that I used to just fully be engulfed in one of my YouTube message like 8 years ago about like, the manifesting and the illusion and the five senses and the three dimensions and all that stuff is it's sort of so that's what I mean. I'm sort of going back to my roots about all that stuff because I'm actually like applying it in real time professionally on the home court, if that makes any sense. And it's all about like freeing these out. I'm just working on getting myself a surfer adolescent, dude. Like when I'm looking forward to the day when we get some gung-ho surfer. Because they're just as juked up as any. And then I'm gonna really like, because I always wanted to have like a extreme surfing school, like a surfing school that were like, it's not like you learn how to surf. It's like a surfing school for someone who's like capable, and you take him into the underbelly of like the surfing culture and into the gnarliness of like spots and heavy waves and ducking crunchy locals and the whole thing and teaching them how to like, get gnarly. Like the real deal. Like the real deal. Look at this. What am I building right now? I fully like got all whoa in it. I think I'm gonna build this bag and retire for the evening after this. But so yeah, man, I'm feeling like a good resurgence, because normally I get this kind of a resurgent thing and then I'm sort of slammed with a bunch of like life problems, like right out of it. But I've been having like continual like life problems the last month, where it's not even like trippy anymore. It's just becoming like, oh yeah, what next? Of course, something new. No days off, man. It's the no days off model of it all. Don't even try. All right. Well, this is getting involved here. What's going on? I gotta put it down for a second. Let's see. This is, wait a minute. Oh, it's like that. I'm all confused. What does it want me to do? Oh. It's got me expanding territory right now. This is weird. It's not a very strong connection right there, which surprises me. I got Owl that crazy Ninjago dragon for Christmas. Dude, that thing is nuts, dude. I'm like fully blown away by it. Here's the strengthening pieces, I tell you. Here they are. This looks like some sort of like hatches for the deck. Candlesticks and frying pans. And I'm pretty optimistic about my spring gardening scene. I got to tell you, like, I'm feeling that it might come together in a heavy way this season. I don't know though. I could be jumping the shark with that statement. I should retract that. That's like getting a little too ahead of yourself, right? Like, whoa, dude, like what put retraction. Did I speak too soon? I spoke too soon. Don't do that. Mind your manners. Uh-oh. Mind your manners, dude. Don't get all crazy. I think I did something wrong up here. I got to go back and correct it. I don't know how those dudes do the live streams where they like complete a set in like one sitting, like a big set like this. It seems a bit crazy, dude. Because I'm done right now. I'm gonna fix the mistake I made over here, and then I'm good. I'm good on this, dude. This is rad. It's a rad set. One of the better Lego sets in a long time. I think this kind of goes up there with the Van Gogh Starry Night one. I really like it. I think they're coming out with the new Ninjago City set too. I always like the Ninjago cities. All right, and look at this, and I did this wrong. Oops. Turn those around. There we are. We're back at it. So, as we're on the way out the door, like, subscribe. You can Surf Casual Caveman. I was about to say that I thought the Van Gogh was the great build. That is, man. I love the Van Gogh Starry Night one, man. I hope they do some. I'm saying I wish Lego would do Guernica by Picasso, dude. But I don't think it's gonna happen. That's a dark subject matter. All right, where does this go on? And then pretty impressive so far. Look at that thing. Look at that. All right, this is I think we're probably almost it's going to 27. I don't know, dude. We'll see where we end up on the next stream. We might try to finish this on the next one. Come in for the big win. Anyway, it's the Illusion signing off, and maybe we'll do this, finish this up New Year's Eve. Yeah. Or now I'll probably do a New Year's Eve stream. Maybe I should do like an open New Year's Eve stream on the other channel. Anyway, smash the like button, subscribe, become a member, do all that kind of good stuff, man. Support the dream. And I appreciate all of you here as we build Shackleton's endurance. And good night. And keep on clicking bricks. It's the Illusion signing off.